There's a simple reason that you're not more productive. And that is, let me clarify, if you want and desire to be more productive, but you're not more productive, there's a simple reason for it. And I know because I was hounded by it for years. And that is, you have fear. You're scared. If you're not doing the prospecting calls you should be doing, it's because you're scared. If you're not being more disciplined with your behaviors, it's because you have a fear that's driving you. And more often than not, we don't do deep work and we don't stay disciplined with our behaviors because we have an underlying fear. It could be in sales, a fear of rejection, a fear of failure, a fear of success, right? Because we don't think we're good enough, or we think we're fundamentally flawed, or we don't think we're worthy of that success and will be exposed and found out if in fact we achieve it. And what ends up happening is because we have these fears, we subconsciously avoid the behavior that would lead us into facing those fears. And then we find other things to rationalize not doing it. We schedule time over deep prospect research. We schedule meetings over deep prospect research. We schedule calls or meetings over our prospecting time. We check our emails when we should be making calls. We write and rewrite and rewrite and rewrite email templates for an email that likely won't get read in the first place because we're so afraid of a mistake. The sooner you can just own what you're afraid of, the quicker you'll be able to work through this distraction. If you're afraid of being annoying, just own the fact that if you do your job really well, somebody's going to find you annoying. You're going to be annoying. If you're afraid of being pushy or salesy, just own the fact that you're in sales and that no matter what you do or say, you're likely going to talk to at least one person, and probably more than one, that thinks you're pushy or you're salesy. The sooner you can just own the thing that you're afraid of and make it part of who you are, the less you'll be afraid of it. Because now you're not trying to avoid it. You just recognize it is part of who you are. We all have these parts inside of us. These parts that are pushy or aggressive or rude or annoying or uncaring or whatever it is you're afraid of. If you put yourself out into the world and you try to achieve success and you talk to enough people, you're always going to run into someone who thinks these things of you. And if you try to do everything you can to avoid it, you end up watering yourself down and really talking to no one. And that is not a way to find success in sales. So if you find yourself being undisciplined in your prospecting or your time blocking or your activity, just own up to the fact that you are afraid of being perceived or judged a certain way based on this behavior and your interactions with other people. And then empower yourself by just owning the fact that this is part of who you are and it is unavoidable and it is what makes you you. And you come off this way because of how much you care and how committed you are and how much action you take. And there's nothing you can do to avoid it. Once you fully own that empowered state, everything will change for you. And as they say, the world is your oyster.